Good morning once again, my leaders. So today we are continuing the topic that we started on Friday, where we were talking about, how to approach prospects. So I will just quickly run through what we spoke about on Friday, just in 5 minutes, and then I will finish off the rest of the slides that we were not able to complete on Friday. So, the first one was we said make a powerful impression, which means, when you're approaching people, how you dress, how you speak to them, make sure you catch their names and you dress appropriately for the event. If it's a professional event, make sure you're dressed like a professional. If it's something where it's laid back, it's an outing, then you also dress casual because it gives you the confidence and it helps you to, you know, um, make a very good first impression. Then we spoke about building rapport, which means, you are speaking to the other person, trying to find, some things that you have in common, trying to build or develop a trust kind of relationship before you start introducing your products or your business opportunity. Then we spoke about understanding their needs. Most of the time we always just go with our pitch already in our head, but it's very important when you are approaching prospects, when you're approaching customers, understand what is it that they need so that you can now provide a solution for that need. So make your presentation must be tailored to the needs of the people that you are talking to. So do listen when they speak so that you understand what is it exactly that they need help with. And we also said when it comes to products, it's not just about a customer comes to you and they say, how much is this? And then you just give them a price. Understand why they need the product so that you are able to recommend the correct product as well for their needs. And then we spoke about handling objections with confidence. So it's not always that everyone that you speak to is going to say yes. Sometimes it's going to be a no. And when you hear that no, how you react will make a very big difference in terms of whether you stay in contact with that person or not. So, stay calm, be open, let them know that, you understand how they feel, or you have met other people who felt the same way and you would just like to stay connected with them, just because you already have other things that you have discovered that you have in common, you can always just stay in touch for those other things. And eventually, when they do decide to say, you know what, I want to start, I want to do this, then they would be having a positive impression of you. But if someone says no and then you start acting funny, you start being rude, even if tomorrow they change their mind, they will rather go to someone else that is not you. So handle objections positively and with confidence. And then we said step number 6 is you are closing the sale. So you are finding out when do they want to get started, or are they getting the product depending on what your pitch was about. And you know, you are giving them the benefits of the products, then you said you only celebrate a sale once you have provided what the customer needs and they have also made a payment. So if someone says, no, I will take aloe vera gel, it's not a sale until you have the money and you have given the customer the product. Same thing with people that want to join. Sometimes we celebrate so fast. Oh, this one, she's joining. No, I have two people that are joining end of the month. But as FBOs, I'm sure we already know what happens at the end of the month. So closing the sale means they have committed to doing something at a certain date. the money has been sent out and they have received their products, that's when we say the sale has closed. If that has not happened, we are staying in touch with our prospects, we are staying in touch with our customers, reminding them of what they needed here and there so that you are able to close the sale. So the part that we were not able to do last week was, I had just given a few tips of how to approach different types of people. Because sometimes I've had, my team saying, no, I approach these people and they treat me so negative or they don't listen to me. I don't know what is it that I'm doing wrong. And I just thought, let me share these few tips that I've learned to say, different people are attracted by different things. The way you would approach me, for example, is not the same way that you can go and approach Anna, because these are two different people, two different personality types. So you, as the person that is prospecting, looking for a client, looking for a business partner, you have to understand these people that I'm going to approach, these people that I want to go and deal with, what type of a person are they, so that when you go out, you take the right approach. So, for example, we have the people that we call the analytical people. These are people that like your accountants, your finance people, sometimes your software, people that have done IT, actuarial sciences, people that are so into the detail, so into the logic, and the data. What does the data say? What are the facts about your product, about your business? People that are logical, they think in a very logical manner. Those are not people that you can just go and say, hey, come to Forever, we have forever to drive, you can travel the world, you can do this, you can do that, because they make decisions based on the detail, the data, the facts, the figures. So if you go with something that looks like you are selling dreams, they are not going to pay attention to you, because their mind is used to understanding, okay, here is Forever. What are the facts about Forever? When was this company started? Who's running this company? How long is this company in operation? The people that are in this company, what exactly is it that you do? What is your product? Those are the kind of details that they need in order to make a decision. Why? Because even in their profession, that is what they are used to doing. So if you go to them, you do your presentation, and you don't stick to the facts, you don't show them the figures. So you are saying, no, come and make 10,000. Where is this 10,000 coming from? You have to break it down for them. You know that example that we have on the slides with the alu bottle, and it shows profit for one bottle, profit for two bottle. The analytical people, that is the slide that you need to focus on. You also need to focus on the company history, because they want to understand what is happening with this company. How does it work? What is your main, product? What is it that you do? So these guys want to know company history. They want details about the products. They also want to know, where does the money come from? So be detailed, be logical, and then also give them time to process and also ask questions. So when you are approaching these people, these are not people that you can do a pitch for them on the street, because you cannot stop someone in the street and explain all of these things. These are people that you invite for a business presentation. They come through, they sit down, and you explain it properly. because that is also the setting that they are used to. Professional people, they're used to being in boardrooms and meetings, and they have all these graphs that are being presented. So when you are also running your business, you have to be conscious of that. It can't just be a side hustle that you explain on the street and pass, because then you will hardly get an analytical person to sign up for forever or for a product in the middle of the street. So invite them for a presentation, sit them down. It can be maybe a boardroom meeting where you have a couple of people, or it can be, invite them over for coffee, have a chat with them so that you have enough time to actually explain the facts and the figures. And then it's going to make sense to them. And once it makes sense, because they make decisions based on, does this make sense? Is this logical? Then they can be able to consider either your product or your business opportunity. So that's the first type of people. Then we have what we call the amiable people. These are people that are friendly, they are cooperative, they're just happy people. And these are people that most of the time make decision based on how they feel, based on emotion. So when you are approaching these people, number one, you have to be friendly. So the way you approach the analytical person, you had to be professional. You had to show them that I have a business. This business has a plan, and this is our compensation plan. You can even show them the first steps to manager as your business plan to say this is how the business works, because that is the approach that they need. But this person is not interested in the facts and the numbers, and to an extent, yes, they are, but that is not their main focus. This is someone who makes decisions based on relationship, based on how they feel. So when you are speaking to them, you are being friendly. You are speaking to them in such a way that they feel like they belong. So this is where you emphasize things like, we are building a community of people that are making extra income. This is where you emphasize that we are going to support you once you start. These are people where you are more talking about the we travel together, and this is how you can qualify for the travel incentives. So you are building that friendship and relationship with them, because once they feel like, I know this person, or once they feel like, I belong in this community, then it makes their decision simple. Of course, you still have to show them the marketing plan, you still have to show them the product, but they um, are people that are driven by relationship and support. So you have to show them the community part of your business. You have to show them the support. If you're selling C9 to someone like this, you have to speak about, we have a wellness group. In our wellness group, we do the exercises together. We can take you through the C9 booklet. We share the meals that you're supposed to take. Now they start to feel, oh, okay, so if I buy this box, I'm going to be having friends that I'm doing this with. I'm not going to be alone. That will motivate them to buy the product. If you tell them that we do meetings together, we have training that we do on Zoom, Forever is also paying for our venue so that we can bring our prospects and they get to come and learn. We have Forever Success Day where we celebrate people. Those are the type of things that, attract the second type of person. I hope I'm speaking to someone in the chat there. Just let me know that you are still there and you are still following. So that is the second type of person. The third type of person, I call them the driver or the driven. These are people that are goal oriented. They make decisions very fast and they are focused on the results. So an example I would give is people that are maybe in management kind of roles, people that are used to, here is the target, let's work on the target. They don't take forever to make decisions. They just want to see results. So people like that, generally, number one, they are very busy people. They don't have time to come and sit for a 2-hour presentation. So be brief, straight to the point. Focus on the results and efficiency. Be confident. You cannot be stuttering and because then they do not take you serious. So these people, you are focused on also showing them, all right, when you start, this is where you are starting. Your goal is manager. Once you get to manager, this is what it means. This is what it means for you when you are at this level. These are the type of people that you need in your team to be able to reach to that point. And once you are there, 1, 2, 3. So you don't do like a whole 2-hour presentation. They don't have the time for that. They just want to know, what is it? How can I make money from it? How does it work? So brief, to the point, you focus on results and efficiency. So here you are telling them as well about the systems, because there are people that don't have time to go to the product center, deliver aloe vera gel here, so you are now focused on the systems. Okay, this is the plan that we have. This is where you need to get. We have systems in place to help you get there. Systems, what systems do we have? We have your back office. That is how you track and manage the people that are under you. They understand that language because that's what they do every day. We have FLP 360. This system shows you what you need to do, where you are, your next goal. It shows you the people in your team that are bringing the results that you need to work with. FLP 360, that's a system. We have Biashara app, we have, those things. Show them you have an online store. Okay, it makes your work so much easier. Why? Because a person just clicks on the online store, their products get delivered. Here is where you print your report of how many orders have been placed and who has ordered, and then the money is paid into your account. In our system, payments are done on the 1st, on the 10th, on the 21st, like that. And then they understand, oh, okay, this is how the system works. So that person is brief, to the point, show them where's the money coming from, how do they manage their team, how do they manage the orders, and then they run with the plan, because that is their focus. Their focus is the end goal. Their focus is the results. So don't invite them for a presentation, then you show up late, then you want to do a 2-hour presentation, because already you would have lost them. Then the last person is the expressive, the people that are outgoing, high energy, and they just love being around people. They're extroverted people, the opposite of me. Those are the fourth people. So you have to match their energy. You can't approach that person the way you would approach me, for example, because I'm very low energy. So when you are approaching them, you have to be smiling, you have to be excited about the business. Show them the excitement that you have for forever or for the products. So you are matching the energy that they have. Be enthusiastic and engage with them. Here you use stories and emotion to be able to captivate them. So you are sharing, in as much as you're going to give them the detail about the company, about the product, about the marketing plan, you also want to use stories and emotion. People that have used the product and they have gotten the results. People that have signed up in your team and they are starting to make the commission. Your story, how did you start? What motivated you to start? What have you been able to achieve? That is their main focus. They want to see who else is doing it. Are they getting results? They make decisions based on that excitement. So these people, you will be wasting your time. Well, not really wasting your time, but you cannot spend 1 hour explaining the marketing plan and the figures and the amounts and the what. In every presentation, you have to do that section, but your emphasis when you are presenting to the expressive kind of people is sharing stories. So throughout, as you're doing your presentation, bring in stories about people that you know that have tried the business and the product and it has worked for them. Because by the end of the presentation, that is what is going to motivate them to make a decision. So it's always good to identify the type of person that you are working with so that you are able to tailor your presentation to what drives them to make a decision. That is why at the start of the presentation, especially the small presentations that we do for ourselves, because you don't have that many people in the room, you do have a chance to ask, to get to know your prospects before you start. What is it that you do? Why are you here? And in talking to them like that, you already understand, oh, this one, she's a driver. This one, she's expressive. This one, she's like this. So that's how I speak to my prospects and my customers. And when I'm scheduling meetings with them, I've also learned not to mix them too much because sometimes it's very difficult to cater for all 4 types of people at once. So when I'm doing my calendar, I try to group similar people so that I know that at 10, these are the type of people that I'm going to be sitting with. At 12, these are the type of people that I'm going to be sitting with. Because sometimes when you have all 4 types of people in the room, it becomes difficult to balance because you can go on and on about the stories of other people that have used the product. What is happening? The one who is driven by the goals, the decisive, the driver is already getting bored. The analytical one is saying, but this doesn't make sense. This seems like a scam. This is too good to be true. So sometimes as well, where possible, do that assessment before you schedule the meetings so that you avoid a scenario where they are all mixed in one place and now you can't tailor your presentation to all 4 types of people at once. So do that assessment with your prospects. Then a few bonus tips before I close. Practice active listening. Listen to understand, not to just respond. Whether it's your customer or it's your prospect, listen to them to understand what are their needs or what is it that is preventing them from starting. Be consistent in your follow-ups. Sometimes we follow up today and then they say, let's speak next week. You forget, then you call like a month later or things like that. Be consistent in your follow-ups. If you speak to a prospect, make sure you are agreeing on the time to call them again. I never hang up the call until we have set a date to say, call me back on this day at this time. Because then when I'm following up, it does not seem like I'm bothering them because this is something that we both agreed to. We agreed that I'm going to call you on the 31st in the afternoon because that's the day you get paid. But if you hang up the call without agreeing to say, when is your next follow up? Now, when you need to follow up what's happening, you feel like, I'm bothering this person. I'm becoming too much. Maybe let me not follow up today. And that is not the case. So make sure that when you are speaking with your prospect, before you end the call, you've agreed on a time that you are going to call them back. And make sure that you call them at that time like you said you would. Okay? And be consistent. Sometimes people go through a lot of things. It might not be that they are not interested or they don't want to talk to you. Sometimes maybe for me, last month was so hectic. It's year end. People want annual financial statements. I've even forgotten that I once spoke to Sarafia and she told me that, there's a company called Forever. So follow up, knowing that it's not always that people are, intentionally not replying your messages. Sometimes maybe they are just going through something. And in your follow up, I always say to people, your follow up mustn't always be, "Hi, how are you? When are you starting? Do you have the money now?" Following up can be staying in touch with the person. They post a status about their kid's birthday and you just say, "Oh, that's so nice. How old is she? Happy birthday to her," so that also when you are inboxing them or when you're trying to make contact with them, they don't feel like, "Oh, these forever people have started," because sometimes you are actually just checking up on them. So following up doesn't always mean that it's when are you getting the product, when are you sending the money. Following up can just be checking on the person, commenting on their status, keeping in touch, invite them to events. Maybe there's a high tea event happening in your area. Ask them if they can join you and attend with you. Something that has nothing to even do with Forever or the product. That's how you follow up and you build a relationship with the person. Sometimes you will find they themselves will be the one to bring up the topic of Forever to say, "My friend, you once spoke about this thing. How does it work? I think I'm ready to start." But if you are always, "When is the money? When are you starting? Do you have the money?" No, 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 no. Eventually they block you or they just read your messages and don't reply. Why? Because you have become a nuisance. The third one is use voice notes or videos for a personal touch, especially for people that you're meeting on online via social media. Texting doesn't always have I don't have the proper word. If I was speaking to my friends, I would say it doesn't have kadat. So it doesn't make as much of an impact as you sending an audio to your prospect or you sending a video to your prospect, because they get to hear your voice or they get to see your face. They know who they are talking to. They know you are a real person. You are not like a robot there on social media. So it's always good to do like personalized voice notes or videos. I remember, one of the sessions we were told to say as an FBO, have an introduction video so that when you are speaking to people, you can easily just share that introduction video. They get to see you, they get to hear your voice. You will be surprised how much of a difference that makes to your prospect or to your customer. Sometimes it can actually make someone feel like, "Oh, I know this person," because they have seen your face and they have heard your voice. Whereas when you are just texting, it's just messages. And sometimes also in texting, you cannot convey the tone of your message. Like people cannot really see how excited you are about this through a text. Even if you write, "I'm super excited," they don't get it. But if you send a video, you're like, "Hi, I am super excited. Thank you for replying." They get to hear it in your voice, they get to see your face. It has a different impact than you just sending a message. I hope that makes sense. Stay coachable, learn from every interaction. I always say every mistake that you make is an opportunity to learn, and be kind to yourself. In that, don't feel like, "Oh, I messed this up. This person is not going to sign." Yeah, maybe you messed up, but what is it that you have learned? Use that as a learning curve for tomorrow. So I always say, be kind to yourself, stay coachable, learn from every interaction, whether it was positive or it was negative. There will always be something that you can learn from that interaction. If someone was negative to you, did I approach them wrong? Was it a bad time? Maybe they were busy, or maybe they are just not interested. How can I refine my approach to the next person? That's how you get to learn. So stay coachable even with, your uplines and your mentors. They have walked the road. They know how to guide you where you need to go. So always keep in touch with your sponsor or with your mentor so that they can guide you in terms of how to run your business. And then the last one is your confidence sells more than your product. So always have, confidence you boosted by knowing your product. Have the product knowledge. You boosted by knowing your marketing plan, your product, your company presentation. So invest in that knowledge so that you boost your confidence, because how confident you are about the product can also influence the other person's decision. If someone is telling me buy Arctic Sea, it's good for boosting your memory and what, and then I ask questions about the product and you don't have a straight answer, you are not sure, you are checking on your phone, already I lose confidence in whatever it is that you're trying to offer me. So invest in your product knowledge. Invest in knowing your company. When was it founded? Who's running the company? How long has it been running? So that when you encounter those questions, you are able to answer them with confidence, because that is what is going to show the other person that you know what you are talking about. So that is my last slide. We have 2 minutes and 30 seconds. What I will do is I will allow participants to be able to unmute if you would just like to make a comment, ask a question, whatever it is, you can be able to unmute. But please keep it short so that other people can also get a chance. Or you can just type there in the comment section and I'll be able to read your comments. If you're unable to unmute, just let me know, then I can try unmuting you from my side.
Good morning, Coach.
Morning, Coach Kulu.
Hey, just a quick one. What happened last week when you were talking about people who are going to tell you about, hey, forever aloe vera gel is not the one. This one, hey, I got to experience that on Saturday, and your teachings came back. Guess what? The lady actually, when we engaged, just to hear actually what she didn't like. It was that when the FBO sold, the aloe vera actually broke and then it spilled. It was within 3 days. And when she told her for this thing, she just said, no, our aloe vera gel doesn't break. It can never do that. When I told her exactly what you said, you know what, did you know that we have a 30 money back guarantee? Like, you can bring your aloe vera gel. We will not ask questions. We will actually give you your money if you don't want the aloe vera anymore. Tina, the company, will actually give us the aloe vera gel. We go and sell again. She was like, what? That lady never told me. Actually, that's what irritated me. Even when I drink, I felt like so I was just laughing. So thank you so much for this teachings, Coach. I really just wanted to share that hey, these things helps us really. Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you so much, Coach Kulu. As FBOs, guys, let's give our clients all the information and let's not fight with our clients. When you get those kind of complaints, let's address them correctly. We are out of time. I will read your comments in the chat or you can type them in the group. But thank you so much for waking up and joining today's session. I wish you all a very, very productive day. Today is the 27th, so let's go out there and let's keep pushing to close the month strong. Thank you. You are welcome to exit the meeting.